Tubular, what it do? I'm back, I'm back to creating, back to, doing what we need to do. Just, we're in this period of this life of where a lot of releasing is going on, a lot of a lot of purging, maybe a lot of, letting go of the past, with the year of the snake ending and the year of the horse beginning this coming Tuesday. So it's like right now this is a period of reflecting and releasing what no longer serves you. And that's what I've been doing. That's what these past few days, maybe this past week, has been about for me, is letting go of a lot of stuff. And like revisiting old things, old patterns, so that they can be revisited and then no longer be served in this next journey. But it's like, that's what this video is about. Let's call it like it's like a day in a life, but like just for me, these are my last moments of being in hermit mode. Like being on this spiritual journey. It's a there's a period of your life where it calls you to just go ghost, really go ghost, be so private, become so private, become so hidden, and it's like, that's what they like to call it, like the hermit mode, when you're in your solitude, when you're in your loneliness era, when you're just by yourself, mastering your thoughts and mastering your habits and completing cycles and doing the shadow work. That's what all hermit mode is about when you're on a spiritual journey. It's about getting to know yourself. Really, that's all it is. It's getting to know who you are, and what are your gifts, what are your talents, what separates you from what makes you authentic. That's what that's about. You go and figure out what it is that you like to do, what it is that no longer serves you. What habits need to be let go of, what energy needs to be let go of. But that's what I've been on for maybe these past 3 years. It's just hermit mode, a lot of training, a lot of preparing, a lot of mastering. And I've completed so many tests, I've gone through so many trials and tribulations. So it's like, I know this next season is a lot's gonna happen, and I just want to say that right now. But this I want to capture this moment of these days, of these weeks, of these changes that are going to be happening. And it's just, this video is just going to be a day in the life of what the last days of what, how do I put this? I don't know, like the last days of living in hermit mode. That's what I think I'm going to title this. It's just, I'm going to show y'all what hermit mode looks like, what solitude looks like, what boredom looks like. Because that's also what hermit mode is about, is boredom, is a lot of stillness, a lot of slowness, and mastering how to be bored more, So it's like, I'm gonna just showcase that. I'm gonna showcase what these past few years, what I've been doing is being bored. I've been being not bored in a sense of like I'm bored, but it looks like I'm bored, like it looks like I'm doing nothing, but it's just preparation. It's just resting. It's all just resting. Allowing your soul to rest, allowing your soul to receive the energy that you need to receive, so that you can go on and integrate all of this energy. But yeah, this is just a little intro. I'm literally just gonna show y'all a day in my life of being in hermit mode. So yeah. Well, because I'm just waking up a little bit, maybe like an hour ago, and I like to start my days very slow. I try to be very intentional about my days and being very slow and not doing so much. So it's like today, what I do is every day when I wake up, I'm always stretching. I always do yoga. I implement at least 15, 20 minutes of stretching and then doing yoga. And then I'll, depending on how warm it is outside, especially living here in Arizona, the weather's pretty solid. So I'm able to go outside, so it's like, I'll go out and meditate as well. That I'll also spend time doing that, meditating, so that's really what a lot of my hermit mode days are about. If it's just, you know, finding moments for stillness, finding moments for meditation, you know, and that's basically what I've done today. Is just that. But you know, I'm gonna be filming more videos more, so I think I'm about to film another video than this. But yeah, I was just telling y'all basically what, you know, I've started already for this day. But yeah, what up, too? This just it's another part of my day where I'm still, where I'm doing nothing. I'm pausing in life, you know. I come out here to the grass, to the sun, to Mother Earth, and I breathe with her, you know. I do some yoga if I need to, you know. Look, come put my feet out right in here. You know, and sometimes I'll get a lot of what my hermit days consisted of was getting my lawn chair. This is like, I call this my meditation chair, and I'll put it out there. I'll say it out. I'll lay it out, and then I'll put my feet in the grass and just sunbathe for like, you know, like an hour or two, you know, just doing yoga, moving around, hit some push-ups if I need to, you know. But it's like, a lot of your days in hermit mode consist of nothing, you know. It consists of slowness, consists of boredom, a lot of boredom, you know. But it's like, I don't even like to call it boredom, you know. I like to just see it as a moment of a presence, of stillness, of slowness, because it's like all our lives we've been led to just go to do one thing after the other. So it's like, when you choose this spiritual path, when you get on this level, all that changes, you know. So it's like, you have to sacrifice so much of what you used to know, you know. And it's like, you have to start adopting new things, new ways of being, to carry on the new things that are meant to come into your life, you know. So it's like, you need to learn how to be still. You need to learn how to be as slow as you can be. You need to know when you need to be still. You need to know when you need to rest, and when you need to act on things. But, you know, like, a lot of these days in hermit mode consist of, you know, seems like you're doing nothing, you know, but deep down, you know the bigger picture. And it may, other people outside you, you know, say your parents, they might look at you and they'd be like, what does he do all day? Like, do we need to have a talk with him? Like, that's literally what I went through. I've had my parents talk to me. It's like, do you know what you're doing? Like, you know, like, but when you're selected for such a high purpose, it's like, the way you carry out things looks so different. It looks so, like, you know, because it's like, no one's gone down the path you've gone to. So it's like, one thing I love, this quote is like, or I don't know if it's a quote, but something I always repeat to myself. It's like, don't take it, if you're a spiritual person on this journey, and you know who you are, and you know your purpose, you know your mission, don't take advice from the generation that's been cursed, you know. Don't take advice from your parents, from your grandparents, when you know who you are, when you know the truth, when you know who you know intuitively who you are, and what you need to do. Do not take advice from the cursed generation. Do not take advice from outsiders. Do not take advice from society. You know your intuition. So it's like, you don't need to go outside of yourself for help. You have your ancestors, you have your spirit guides. And when I say ancestors, I mean the ascended ancestors. Not every ancestor is on your side. You know, not every ancestor is your guide, you know. I'm talking about the ascended ancestors, these ancestors that made it on to the other life, you know, that crossed the path, that crossed the threshold, that you know, they did what they needed to do. You know, they're the true guardians of your life, not the ancestors that got into trouble, that dealt with a bunch of low vibrations, you know. Some of those ancestors are not the ones you call upon, you know. But that can be for another video. But, you know, this is what it looks like in the day in the life of a hermit mode spiritual person, you know, or a spiritual person that's on their hermit mode phase. And, you know, and it's just like, I know these days are about to come to an end. I'm about to be very busy, I'm about to be, I'm going to be working on a lot more new things, but it's like, appreciate where you are, appreciate the slowness of your journey, go as slow as possible, go as slow as you need to go. All right. What up, too? Now another part of my days where I'm still, I'm bored, I'm at the house, I'm resting. Another day of hermit mode is literally playing on the game, bro. Literally, that's pretty much what I do most of the days when I'm in hermit mode, is playing the game, playing Xbox, playing. Right now I'm playing MLB The Show. Which one is this one? This one was 23. Bruh, I've been playing this game for so long. I still got the old Xbox too. I don't know if you can see the old ass Xbox, but no, yeah, I'm gonna be as authentic as possible, as transparent about, what my days are really like, cause I know people are gonna think like, what does he do all day? This is what I do. I'm resting. I've done the work already. I've done the shadow work, so it's like, now I need to give my body time to heal, time to rest, be still and recharge, But yeah, it's just another part of my days where, I'm resting. I'm in hermit mode, but yeah, I just wanted to show y'all this. I was gonna go play basketball, but I know I might go in a little bit. But there's people working on houses over there, so I don't know. But yeah, this is as true as it's gonna get. But yeah, see you in the next clip. Tubski. Another part of my days that I do in hermit mode is another type of resting. Is I'm sitting here on the couch. Honestly, I should have recorded, but I just got done making me some food. I had some fruits, and I made me like a acai bowl, I had some trail mix. But now this is like the mid part of my day where, I slowed down even more from the stuff that I was doing earlier, like moving around. I was cleaning a little bit. Now I can rest and watch some YouTube if I will, because I love watching YouTube. That's also how I spend a lot of my isolated days, is watching TV, watching YouTube, watching a movie, but this is just another moment of stillness, another moment of slowness, another moment of rest, where you can give your body some healing, some recharging, help your body, just receive more, because you receive a lot of information, you receive a lot of knowledge when you do nothing. When you do nothing, your mind is not working. It's not overworking itself. It's being still. It's being slow. So your body's able to bring in new information, as you rest. But yeah, this is just another part of what it's like being in hermit mode, is sitting here watching Tubski, watching some Alexis Marie. Yeah, you did. Another thing I want to talk about when being still, when resting, when like it doesn't seem like you're doing anything, like when it's, cause bro, sometimes in the beginning of this hermit mode journey, where I was isolated, I was in my solitude, bro, I deadass would like complain to myself, or I would complain to my guides, to my ancestors, I was asking them to I wanted more things to do instead of just being at home all day and doing nothing. But it's like, remember I was complaining, I was like I feel like such a bum, I feel like such a bum being bored, doing nothing, but it's like, there is so much purpose and so much behind the scenes that are going on when you're in your hermit mode phase of your journey. And it's like, I'm just so appreciative of the patience that I have had to learn, and how long it's taken for these changes that I want to happen in my physical reality. I'm just so thankful for how long it took for things to come in for me, and things to start changing, and our life to start picking up, But it's like, in those moments of your solitude, of your hermit mode, of of when you're battling yourself every single day, one-on-one, by yourself. You're doing your shadow work. It's like, that's where you become everything that you need to become. And that's when you set yourself up for all the things that you desire, for all the things that you manifest. That all starts with the inner work. It all starts with being bored at home, working on yourself, working on your old habits, purging. A lot of this hermit mode period is when you do your purging, you do your releasing. And when I say purging, is releasing. Like, purging is removing what no longer serves you, or doing the low vibrational things that you used to do, and purging that stuff out, and I participating in those old habits that you used to do. You do the negative work so you can like clear it out. You clear out your karmic debt. That's what it is. That's what shadow work and purging is really all about, is clearing out your karmic debt and releasing the stuff that no longer serves you, so you can bring in that new energy. You can bring in the new ways that you want to bring, the new ways of yourself, the new ideas that you want to create, the new experiences that you want to have. For that to happen, changes within yourself have to be made. Your lifestyle choices, your habits, your routine, all that has to get released, and doing that takes time. It takes a lot of one-on-one battling. It's a lot of battling your demons. That's what shadow work is. Figuring out, clearing out your triggers, what triggers you, and seeing seeing the bigger picture from it, seeing the bigger picture of why this makes you triggered. Why does this make you feel this way? Why do you react like that? But instead of reacting that way, being the observer of how you are feeling when those moments of triggers happen, when those moments of when you feel bothered, when something you don't like starts to happen, you don't react. You instead, you be observant of it. You're aware of it. You don't react to it so quickly. But that's what I have learned all in my moments of hermit mode, of solitude, of isolation. It's like you learn to be grateful for all of it. You don't start to question it. I mean, you question everything, of course, but you see the bigger picture. You see why you do what you do. You see why you are where you are in your journey. Why you're at home all the day. Why you're you're not doing so much as you used to. You're becoming more still, because your abundance comes from you being still, comes from you being steady, being grounded within your days. So it's like, we have to learn to be as slow as we can be, so the abundance, the love, the success can be steady throughout our life. It's not up and down. But it's just a quick little something I want to talk about what I've learned being in hermit mode. And it's just be grateful for that period of your phase of your journey where it seems like you're not doing nothing. It feels like you're a bum at times, like you're not doing anything. But you know what you're doing. You're doing the work internally. All the work is happening internally. So it's like, you have to be able to understand that and see the bigger picture, and not judge yourself based off what you're doing on the physical realm. So it's like, so much of obviously if you're doing the inner work, then you'll know. But I mean, if you are just being a bum, then figure that out. But there's a difference between being a bum. I don't even want to call it like being a bum, but like being, being unemployed, whatnot, being home all day. There's a difference between doing that and mastering yourself internally. When you're doing the work every single day, you're purging, you're doing your shadow working, you're healing. That's the internal work that I'm talking about. There's a difference between that, because say like your family members, your parents, they're not going to see the internal work that you're doing. So it's like, don't expect them to understand what you're doing, you know. But you know, every journey, every person has their own journey, and you understand your journey the way you understand it, you know. So yeah, that's just what I want to say. ED. Yeah, this probably gonna be the end of this little day in the life of hermit mode. But usually when the night comes and I'm getting ready for bed, I'm wanting to start to meditate more right before I go to bed, you know. And I want to get back to reading before I went to bed too, because I used to do that a lot when I first started my spiritual journey. Is like I remember I would read, I would meditate, and then I would say my affirmations. So it's like I'm trying to implement those old routines again to, you know, just to help me stay more prepared, stay more still, stay more level-headed to receive these new things, these new moments, these new experiences. So it's like I got to start changing our approach, you know. We got to start changing, you know, just our habits, our routine, our day-to-day things. So it's like, yeah, a lot of things have to change after once you come out of hermit mode, after you learn what you needed to learn, you know. So it's like you have to make sacrifices continuously, you know. You have to change up things, you have to eliminate things that no longer serves you. But it's like, you know, this is just, you know, this is how a day in the life of hermit mode really is. It's really doing nothing, literally doing nothing, just resting. It's just resting after learning so much, after receiving so much energy, after completing so many tests, completing so many cycles. It calls for a time of rest after, you know. So yeah, that's gonna be the end of this little video. But thank you, and you know, I'm grateful for what the hermit mode period of my journey has taught me, you know. And it's like I'm ready to take on new things. I'm ready to, you know, I'm ready for new moments. I'm ready for our life to pick up. So this is just me documenting our journey, me documenting life in this spiritual journey. So thank you.